I'm being terrorized by my animals. For whatever reason, they seem to right now have a very intense fascination with chewing up my headphones. And they also stepped on my keyboard, and we got one dialogue ahead from where we left off at. Stop! They're just running all over my bed right now. Now it's tearing up my curtains. Backlog. We didn't really miss anything. Her eyes light up like a scientist who just had a eureka moment.
船長といっても幽霊船の船長だよ。
Oh my god. Her braids droop again at my response. I feel bad for dashing her hopes, but what can you do? Where's my mom? Okay.
以前の船長服は眼帯はともかく帽子、衣装を凝らしたデザインにしたおかげで死ぬ思いだったんだよ。
分かっているなら今度は違うものをと考えているのですよね。
She's wondering why I'm losing sleep if I've already resolved not to repeat the same mistakes.
だからだよ。以前のことがあるから冒険はしたくない。だが前年度のことがあるから適当にもできない。
適当な衣装だと前と落差がありすぎだってがっかりされちゃいますものね。
I nod and take a sip of tea.
ぼーっとしていたのは眠気のせいだったのね。
誤解させてすまなかったね。お三方には詫びるよ。
I stand up and bow like a magician. The mood at the tea party lifts now that they think I'm back to my usual self.
嘘をついてしまったな。
Will you stop? I have all three kitties attacking me. All three of them. Ow! It's not like I can whine about my love life to her when she's still so cut up about Kosaka-kun.
さあ、誤解も解けたところでうまいスイーツに舌鼓といこう。僕はさつまいもには目がないんだ。
Maybe she can ask Erica about it. I cut myself a big slice of pound cake and take a huge bite. Beneath the autumn sky, their cheerful laughter echoes around the gazebo. You had a really tough time back then, didn't you? She says. Oh, did she catch on? After dinner, I'm thinking about taking a bath when my best friend appears, addressing me like a little child.
あの時とは？
去年の今頃だったわね。女の子を泣かせてしまったって落ち込んでいたでしょ。
Her eyes, which seem to see through everything, are brimming with sadness. I smile cynically to try to lighten the mood.
もしかして誤解しているのか？
ごまかさなくていいの。私にはゆずりはが嘘をついていたのは分かっていたのだから。
We've been friends forever. We know all of each other's habits and tells. There's no point in maintaining this facade.
そうか、コロンボテクニックの時か。
Nidhi tilts her head uncomprehendingly, and I explain the meaning of the phrase.
名前の通りさ、かの刑事が初めに何気ない世間話を振ってから相手が気を緩めた帰り際に重要な要件を切り出すやり方だよ。
The interviewee is thrown off balance by the unexpected question and answers honestly, I tell her. Nidhi nods, confirming that's what she's talking about.
白羽さんがお茶会が終わって戻り際のあなたへ耳打ちしたでしょ。その時に後ろ髪に触れいじった。ゆずりはが嘘をつく時の癖よ。子供の頃のね。
A friend once told me that a problem shared is a problem halved. That's what Shirihan had said softly to me as I was about to leave. Caught off guard, I've been made honest.
見抜かれていたか。さすが幼なじみだ。
Between the detective and my best friend, I have no choice but to surrender.
その様子だとまたあの時のように。
いや、あの時よりはマシだよ。少し前に恋文をもらった。それでどうするか考えていたのさ。
そう。
She frowns. Nidhi said she couldn't accept a lesbian relationship, so she probably has her own thoughts on the matter.
どう答えたらいいか悩んでいたのさ。いっそ受け入れるのもいいかもしれない。相手を作ったら頭を悩まされることはなくなるかも。
That was probably a poor joke. Ow! Stop!
それは。
Oh, did I click that or did it do it by itself? Must have been the cat. She trails off without finishing her sentence. It wouldn't have been fair to them, allowed at a Christian school. That wouldn't be fair to them, or that wouldn't be allowed at a Christian school. She stares intently into my eyes for a moment before dropping her gaze to her feet. Seeing the sweet Nidhi hang her head like that affects me more than I would have expected.
冗談だよ。断る腹積もりだったさ。
譲りは。
昨日はお気に入りのエチオピアネキセを飲みながら映画史で最高傑作のパーフェクトワールドを見ながら泣いていたよ。
Will you stop? My kitty's trying to dig into my lap, but it's my foot right there. So she's just clawing up my foot, thinking she can probably get a little deeper in my lap. She must have caught the glimmer of truth in my banter, as she regards me with a distressed look.
大丈夫？
あの時は僕が幼かったせいで傷を作ってしまった。今度はもっとうまくやるさ。
違うわ。あなたのこと。
I want to tell her I'm fine, but the words won't come out. She moves closer to me.
ネリー。
頼りないと思っているでしょうけど、もっと頼っていいの。
She strokes my head and my hair with her warm hand.
あの時もこうして。
In fact, she's always consoled me ever since we were children. I'd always been a crybaby, and every time she'd come to my rescue with a shoulder to cry on.
ありがとう。
Okay, so if by chance that Nidhi does like Yuzihara, she might be, you know, how would you say she's remaining transparent about it because she doesn't want Yuzihara to think or get all caught up relating to the incident that was previously had. I'm sorry, it gets a little hard to convey my thoughts even though they're so well put in my mind. Maybe she's remaining transparent about the whole thing because of a previous incident that bothered Yuzihara from way back then. You know, she's being overly considerate. And Yuzihara is over here like trying to bait and everything. Thinking back on my childhood clears my troubled heart. I have nothing to worry about. I slowly close my eyes, giving myself up to the gentle feel of her hands. Maybe it's because I've made up my mind. I take a big stretch and look out up at the autumn sky.
綺麗だな。
Absent-mindedly, I watch the rows of circumcumulus cloud illuminating by the mystery sun. Wow, I so misread all that. Absent-mindedly, I watch the rows of circumcumulus cloud illuminated by the westly sun. This is the first time I've been able to look up to the sky with any sense of peace since receiving that love letter. She joins me as I'm staring at the slow parade of crimson clouds, and I invite her to watch with me. Okay, she answers, standing and looking up beside me. I turn from the sky and instead find myself entranced by her Celdian eyes, tinged with a faint, matter gleam from the sun's reflection. Like me, she's stiff from the long meeting. She stretches and turns to face me.
会議ずいぶん長くかかってしまったわね。もうこんなに日が落ちている。
秋の日は鶴瓶落としというからね。ついこの間までは暑さでへばっていたというのに、季節が巡るのは早い。
ええ、もうハロウィンパーティーだもの。だいぶ話も定まったし、あとは用意するだけね。
Once everything is decided, it'll be smooth sailing. All that's left is to put our plans into action.
定まったからか。
なに？
I'm so relaxed from watching the clouds that I accidentally voice my thoughts aloud. I tell her that I'm talking about my performance for the party.
用意する手はずは大方済んだし、あとは個人個人の問題だな。
ゆずりはは今年はどんな衣装を用意するつもりなの？
そうだな。僕だけ言うのもアンフェアだ。まずはネリーの衣装を教えてほしいな。
She opens her mouth to answer, but then stops and puts a finger to her pink lips like something just occurred to her.
そうね。ただ教えるのじゃつまらないから。ゆずりは当ててみて。
She flashes an impish smile. It's very distracting. But I manage to keep my mind guessing.
そうだな。ネリーなら外国の王妃の幽霊とかじゃないか？
She stares at me, her eyes wide.
驚いた。ゆずりはあなた超能力でも持っているの？
そんな能力があればベガスにでも行って人儲けしているよ。僕がしたのはただの推理さ。
I know that my longtime friend isn't particularly good at sewing, so she probably couldn't make anything requiring elaborate needlework, which
既
means
存の衣装を使ったものにするに違いない。
to be a ghost, all you need to do is rip up a dress, splatter it with blood, paint your face, and you're golden.
ねえ、なんで外国の王妃の幽霊をするって分かったの？
ネリーの顔つきで和風の幽霊は似合わないだろう。それと王妃なのはドレスに説得力を持たせるためさ。
ドレスなのも分かっているの？
だからそんな目で見ないでくれよ。様式美ってだけさ。外国の幽霊だからってジーンズにパーカーじゃあまり怖くはならないからね。
And she's not a fan of zombies, so that narrowed it down even further, I tell her. Okay. And she's not a fan of zombies, so that narrowed it down even further, I tell her.
そうやって聞くと確かにそれしかないってわかるわね。
幽霊王妃か。きっと綺麗だろうな。ハロウィンパーティーが楽しみだよ。
褒めても何も出ないわよ。はい。
She hands me a candy, which I gratefully accept.
それでゆずりははどんな衣装にするの？
ベターなチョイスだよ。今回はドラキュラだ。前回使った幽霊船長の衣装も再利用できそうだしね。
ブラド3世ね。ゆずりはに似合いそうだわ。
She puts her hands together to form a square and holds it up to her eye, looking through it as though it'll give her a view of me in the outfits.
ブラド3世。確かドラキュラのモデルだった人物か。
I don't have much interest in horror literature, but I've naturally absorbed some knowledge of it through it being around Nidhi. I might have swatted up on it a little bit to impress her too.
そうね。やっぱりドラキュラの衣装ならあの生地は映えるかも。
Then before I even have time to ask what she's talking about,
行きましょう。
she takes hold of my arm and drags me off with her. She's clearly gotten some crazy scheme in mind. The room's distinctive smell is ever present. Nidhi has brought me to the textiles room on the second floor of the dormitories. There isn't much coming and going from this room, so it probably doesn't get that much ventilation. The air is slightly still and cool against my skin.
あまり良い思い出がある場所ではないんだよな。
I recall being shut up in here working on my pirate costume, scared out of my wits by stories I had heard from older students of the haunted textiles rooms.
ねえ、この生地を見て。これマントに合いそうじゃない？
She pulls some velvet from a shelf and shows it to me with delight.
ああ、確かに良さそうだ。
でしょ？やっぱりドラキュラならマントは必須よね。
She's completely absorbed in the costume right now, with one ear still on Neri's chatter. I look over at the mannequins standing in the room. I ain't afraid of no ghost stories.
さすがに夜の作業中はいい気分はしなかったな。
何？
いや、なぜ被服室なのに鏡が置いてないのかってね。マネキンを置くならまずは姿見だろ。
Wouldn't it make more sense to provide a big mirror first, before providing mannequins for fitting and measuring? Nidhi puts the fabric back down and nods, looking over at the mannequins, dyed blood red in the setting sun.
鏡。そうね。私も疑問に思ったわ。
だろう？
A twisted smile contorts her feature as she stares at the mannequin.
ねえ、知ってる？ある時期にモーテルで自殺者が急増したって話。
急な話題転換だな。
It's related, she tells me. She gazes at the silent mannequins as she continues.
急激な増加をした自殺者にどうしてだろうってとある機関が調査したそうなの。するとその当時大人気だった備え付けのあるもののせいだと分かったの。
話の流れからすると鏡かい？
ええ、鏡張りの部屋に一人というのは精神的に耐えられないそうなの。だから
被服室には置いていない？まあ根を詰めて一人で作業しているとき。
I imagine it, sitting there in the dark, when all of a sudden you sense someone behind you and turn around, only to find...
鏡の中に自分以外の何者かが見えたら絶叫してしまうだろうね。
自分が少しだけ変わって見えるというのも嫌ね。真顔で見つめているのに鏡の中の自分は笑っているとか。
Stop. The mere thought is giving me the shivers. If I'm being honest, I can't really handle scary stories. Same. I can't handle them either.
お話としては好きだが。
Even the made-up stories get me. Anything billed as a true story is a hard no. If it's something I can imagine happening to me, I'll end up never checking my reflection again.
ゆずりはは鏡で怖い話を何か知らないの？
僕が知っているのはベタなやつだけさ。鏡に向かって「お前は誰だ?」というやつとかね。
聞いたことがあるわ。鏡に向かって話しかけたりするのよね。
細かくは知らないが、そんな感じの話だったな。
I racked my brains, trying to stir up some faint recollection of a story and about human experimentations. Then, my eyes land on the blood-red mannequins again and a cold chill creeps up my spine. I paste on a cynical smile and attempt to change the subject.
それはそうと知っているかいネリー。化け猫がアンドンの油を舐めるって描写があるだろう。あれはろうそくが好きだからじゃないんだ。当時は安い魚油を使っていたからの描写なんだよ。一般市民はろうそくなんて高級品でとても手が出なかったんだ。当時の食生活は野菜が主だったからね。その残りを餌として与えられる猫も魚、タンパク質に飢えていたんだろう。そうだ、魚といえば川だが、川にも怪異譚は多いね。川の怪異といえば。
Phew. I've managed to shift the gears of the conversation ever so slightly. I'm loath to stay on the topic of proper ghost stories in a place that has such rumors associated with it. Then...
川の怪異ね。
そうだ。
yeah.
川といったら吸血鬼は川を渡れないという伝承もあったね。
ええ、ブラド3世。
She interrupts herself with a cry of, "Oh, the cape!" And we're back to the original topic. That was a success.
裏地が赤のビロード生地なんだけど、表は黒地なの。これってマントにするのにぴったりじゃない？
確かに。これなら手直ししてマントにするのもだいぶ楽ができそうだ。
You're so easy to manipulate. I take the velvet fabric from her and enjoy its smooth, pleasant feel under my fingertips.
そうでしょ？
Looks like I managed to wrest the conversation from ghost stories right back to costumes again. Nitty takes the fabric and holds it up against me. Her hand moves along my shoulder as she takes rough measurements by eye. then accidentally brushes over my breast.
どうしたの？
いや、なんでもないよ。生地は十分かな。マントならせめて膝くらいまでは欲しいからね。
そうね、少し見てみましょう。
The scent of her perfume tickles my nostrils, and the sensation of her hand moving over my body makes me feel slightly awkward.
今は夕暮れ時でよかった。
The evening light means she won't be able to see how red I am. However,
譲り葉？
she must have noticed something off as she gazes up at me. Her celadon eye is quizzical. I wonder just how the heck I'm going to explain away my scarlet cheeks.
どうしたんだいネリー。
以前もこんなことがあったなって思い出したの。あの時はこの生地がタオルで。
Nidhi's a bit devious, I'm not gonna lie. She got some tricks up her sleeve, girl. Girl. You're low-key flirting, that's what that is. She can't help it either, she's in terror. She strokes the soft fabric against my neck.
譲り葉はずぶ濡れだった。
Nidhi, calm down, Nidhi. The cloth tickles my throat. I murmur that I remember too.
小学校の時、急な雨に降られ、二人でずぶ濡れになって、ネリーの家で服を借りた。
I'm still sleepy.
一緒にお風呂に入ったわよね。今じゃ絶対に一緒にお風呂なんて無理ね。
Didn't we just take a bath together last night? I ask her, and she says that she meant a normal-sized bath.
お互い成長したものな。
そうね。私の家のお風呂では無理。昔は私の方が大きかったのにね。
そうだな。服も借りられない。
She puffs at her cheeks peeviously, informing me that she's not that much shorter. It's a mannerism of hers that only comes out when we're alone.
そうだ。私は子供の頃から。
I reaffirm those feelings once again. The feelings I've concealed ever since I was a child. Nidhi tilts her head at me quizzically, and I bury my face in the soft velvet so that she won't see it blushing even darker. It's not hard to die well. The hard thing is to live well. I recall a line from the movie Rome Open City. The glow of the sunset brings back memories of yesterday, and I brush my fingers across my neck. The ghostly sensation of her fingers through the velvet still lingers there.
幼い頃から抱いていた気持ち。
Oh no! Oh no, sweetie, no! Are you okay? Are you okay? No, don't throw up. Okay. 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 You threw up in my hand. Okay. Yeah, no, don't eat it. You... Be right back. I felt like this ever since we were little. That moment brought everything back. And now I feel hollow and somewhat resigned.
お返事を返してもらえるとは思 思っていませんでした。
I addressed the younger girl, the one who has sent me the love letter.
真摯に向き合ってくれた。だから僕も真摯に向き合わなくてはならないと思った。
My words are superficial. The girl flinches before forcing an awkward smile to her face.
きちんと断ってくださってありがとうございます。
Yeah, she's...
私はどうしても気持ちを伝えたかった。だから
Thank you, she says again.
私とは違う。卑怯者ではない。
After what happened these past few days, I've started to realize that I have to confront my own feelings. And that I have to tell my truth. In her letter, she had written that I didn't have to respond, but I felt compelled to.
最後に一つだけ答えてくださいますか。
Oh, her eyes are imploring. It's impossible for me to remain silent under that earnest, intense gaze.
いないよ。
Unable to remain silent, I lie. For a moment, the girl looks unbelievably upset. I'm ashamed. I realize just what a cruel thing I've done.
ありがとうございます。八代先輩。
It takes a while for me to become aware that I can no longer hear her receding footsteps.
時として嘘の方が幸せなことがある。
A cheap phrase I've heard before comes to mind. My mouth twists into a self-deprecating grin. Look at me, trying to vindicate myself after that fact.
やっぱり臆病者だ。
I'm still the same person I was back when I first met Nidhi. I'm still a coward. Still a scaredy cat. I still have no confidence in myself. I thought meeting her had changed me. But as the girl, so the woman, you can't really change who you are. Right. I'll never change. No.
そうか。
I looked at her, standing there in the sunset glow. A timid girl with no fixed definition of herself, simply bobbling along the tides of life. I've seen myself in her, seen my younger self superimposed on her. But the timid Sokan had changed for Mayuri Kosaka's sake. She had called me to the chapel. She approached me. She spoke eloquently. She told me that she was the one who had started all the commotion around the hookman, so she could search for the reason behind Mayuri's disappearance. Then...
3ヶ月ほど前、温室で頭を負傷する怪我をしましたよね。
あの時は迷惑をかけた。僕が起こした事故だったというのに、高坂君にも迷惑をかけてしまった。
あの時の事故は本当に事故だったのですか？この学院には聖母以外のマリアがいるのですね。真実の女神が。
she said, glaring up at the crucified figure of Christ on the wall. She remained silent for a while, before slowly dropping her gaze back down to me. The determination in her eyes pinned me to the spot.
八代先輩は知っておられるのでしょ？どうかお願いです。 真実を私に教えてください。
Despite the firm look in her eyes, her words were pleading.
そうだ。君が推察した通りだ。この学院には神がいる。もう一人の女神がね。
やっぱりまゆりはそのことを伝えて、彼女は私に助けを求めているんだわ。
She clung to me, her expression a conflicted mix of joy and despair. She pleaded with me to tell her the truth, but I couldn't tell her everything.
知らない方がいい。
Right. Those words had been at the back of my mind then too. There are times when a lie is kinder than the truth. But she's fundamentally different to me, with my fragile heart patched together by needle and thread. She had changed, and she pressed me fiercely, vowing not to give up. And so I had lied to Sokun, just as I had lied now, when asked if I was in love with someone else. No, it wasn't a lie. Rather, I underestimated her, believing she couldn't possibly do it.
謎を解く鍵なら教えてやってもいい。
I can't tell her the truth, which is why I wanted to give her at least a faint glimmer of hope.
引き継ぎだよ。
It's in the
そうさ。
succession.
僕の役職を君が引き継ぐんだ。
You've got to take over my job.
二階屋の会の会長となれたら、真実の扉の鍵を与えよう。会長を引き継ぐ際の代々伝えられる文言に真実の女神へと至る鍵がある。
I can't help but think, did she pass away or something? Because it feels like she passed away to me. It's been a while since I played the first game. Not so long since I played the second game, but Shio Shirehan is not like me. I'd given her an impossible task, but she accepted the challenge and vowed to see it through. She has a pure and earnest heart.
僕はどうしたらいいんだろうね。
As my words fade into the sunset, I feel like I'm regressing back to a horrible, timorous, childlike version of myself.
Oz の魔法使いという童話がある。竜巻に遭い、おとぎの国であるオズの地へと降り立ったドロシー。偶然に恐ろしい東の魔女を退治し、マンチキンの国を救った彼女は、その場にいた優しい北の魔女から、家に帰るためにはエメラルドの町に行かねばならぬと教えられた。父母のもとへと帰るため決意したドロシーは、黄色いレンガ敷きの道を頼りに歩き出す。その旅の途中、最初の同行者と出会う。カカシだ。カカシはどうにかして木の棒にくくりつけられた体を外し、脳みそを得るために旅の同行者として共に行けないかと懇願する。熱意のこもった演説の反面、ドロシーは物語の中であっさりと同行を許した。簡単に仲間に迎え入れたことに、私はひどく動揺したのを覚えている。カカシにとって世界が変わるほどの選択、それが出会い、語り、ものの数分で開けていく感覚。これから始まるお話は、選ぶべき道を軽率に選んだ愚か者のお話。
Watching the tropical fish peck at their flakes of food is incredibly soothing. Since we had to move around a lot because of my father's work, he rarely brought anything hobby-related into the home. However, the one thing he could never give up, no matter how many times we moved house, was his aquarium. At first, he had only kept aquatic plants, but after I had shown an interest in tropical fish, he started to keep those too. Since he was often late home, I maintained the tank and looked after the fish in his stead. Truthfully, I'd only taken a liking to tropical fish after watching a movie where all the characters were fish.
可愛いとは思っていたが。
Looking down on those vibrant creatures darting about is surprisingly relaxing. Between his demand job and looking after our family, my dad must have found some welcome relief in his cherished aquarium.
僕も疲れが溜まっているのかな。
The first week of October had already flown by. Preparation for the Halloween party are in full swing. While keeping track of our progress and tending to club function doesn't take up too much of my time. The Council of Nakia is required to lend a hand if anyone asks for help with their individual preparations. And then there's the costume making, which all students are expected to participate in.
お前たちは幸せだな。
I remember with a smirk and as though sensing danger, the fish scatter, swimming, eating, and sleeping. I'm envious of their straightforward instinctual life. I'm poking at the tank when I see a shadow reflected in the glass.
ごきげんよう。今日は珍しく一人のようだね。
I say as I turn to face the girl behind me.
ごきげんようというのでしたね。
I thought it would be the twins. Still, unused to her school's formal manner of greeting, a grimace mars her pretty face as she returns the salutation, going on to inform me that it's not as if they're joined at the hip.
そうかい？見かけるときは八重垣くんと常に一緒のような気がするのだけどね。
介助をしていますから。それで八代先輩は熱帯魚のお世話ですか？
実家でも飼っていたからね。寮長に頼んでたまに餌をやったり水槽の掃除をさせてもらっているのさ。なんだい？
いえ、八代先輩はあまり動物が好きではない方だと思っていたので。
そう見えるのかな。ヘビ以外なら大概の動物は好むのだけどね。
I'm not much of a fan of monkeys myself. Or gorillas. I recall that I previously had another classmate tell me I don't look like an animal lover too. Is it really that hard to imagine? Seeing me fold my arms sulkily, Takasaki-kun smiles a little.
八代先輩のお気持ちわかります。私も動物嫌いに思われるので。
Now that she mentioned it, she doesn't strike me as the type either. It's hard to picture the rigid, ever-composed Takahashi-kun playing with animals.
自分も同じように思われているのかな。
As I mutter to myself, Takasaki-kun sticks a long, pale finger into the tank to stroke the fish's scales.
八代先輩はペットを飼ったことがあるのですね。少し羨ましいです。
高崎くんは飼ったことがないのかい？ああ、芸能のお仕事をされていたのだったね。そんな暇はないか。
ええ、正直少し前までは何とも。好きでも嫌いでもありませんでした。でも。
Okay, I'm going to adjust myself real quick, so...
そういえば一時ウサギの世話をしていたね。
はい、初めは義務感からだったのですが、触れると壊れてしまいそうな感触だとか、私が世話をしないとダメなところとか。
Catching herself, she blushes faintly.
世話をすれば答えてくれるのが嬉しいかもです。
passionate words resonate with me, and I comment that it might be nice to have a pet again someday. She gives a slight nod and follows up by saying that one day she'd like to have a pet rabbit of her own.
八代先輩は飼うならどんなペットが欲しいですか？
Maybe a bird, because her name's Chidori. Uh-oh, what's going on here? Hold on. My friends on Twitter are over here talking about that they should be recommending to watch The Owl House. Let me see. I mean, we might as well just have fun in this. Maybe a bird, since your name is Chidori. Watch us get a really bad ending. Maybe a bird. As I think back on the chickens we kept in elementary school, it occurs to me that this must be the first time we ever had a personal conversation, just the two of us.
以前小学校で鶏を世話していたことがあったが、あれもなかなか愛らしかったな。
鳥ですか？
ああ見えて賢い。今は鳥インフルエンザなどで飼っている学校は少なくなってきたらしいが、名前を呼ぶと駆け寄ってくるくらいにはなる。手乗り文鳥とかも昔憧れていたな。
They were super popular as pets back when I was little. I'd tell Takasaki-kun how adorable they look pecking away at seeds from your palm. But her expression remains wooden.
もしかして鳥が苦手だとか？
エリカには言わないでくださいね。他の動物は平気なのですけど、どうしても鳥だけは苦手なんです。
Even though your name is Chidori?
そうなのか。珍しいね。
目も感情が測れなくて苦手なのですが、特にくちばしが苦手で、見ていると目を疲れそうな気分になって。
To be honest, I always found the eyes of a goat weird. They look so weird.
名前に鳥が入っているのにね。
知った人はみんな言いますね、それ。
She says with a sour look.
それで放課後のこの時間に熱帯魚の世話をするなんて、ハロウィンパーティーの準備の方は順調に進んでいるんですね。
順調だよ。スイス時計のように動いている。
With one eye still on the fish tank, I tack on a butt.
こともなしにさせるためにはそれなりに苦労が多い。だからこうして心の平穏を欲して熱帯魚と戯れているのさ。
そうなんですか？あまり疲れた風には見えませんけど。
Maybe that's one of the benefits of your unique looks, she says with the utmost seriousness.
クォーターはクォーターなりに容姿の悩みがある。
そうですね。すみません。
She cringes, and I shrug to show her I'm just messing with her.
なに、名所旧跡へ旅行に行くと必ず観光客に共に写真に写ってとせがまれる。外国人然とした顔つきが珍しいのだろうね。
外国人とかではなく、八代先輩だからだとは思いますけど。
As she murmurs quietly, I reflect how I'd never expected Takasaki-kun to be so talkative. I was just about to mention that it's so nice to see her get along, because if I do recall in the Everybody had trouble with her. Feeling suddenly affectionate toward her, I find myself staring at her pretty delicate features.
何ですか？
いや、随分と穏やかな表情になったものだとね。初め会った時は硬い顔つきだったからね。
She seems to want to say something in response, but stops herself.
やはり八重垣くんとの出会いが変えたのだろうね。新しい道に乗ることができた。
You okay back there, buddy?
そうですね。エリカのおかげです。
They get her blushing. You know, I totally would have been for this too if they didn't have the option for the teacher. She murmurs quietly, a blush staining her cheeks. Then as she continues trailing her finger through the water of the tank, I tell her that I'm glad they're both on equal footing.
対等ですか？
そうさ。互いに同じくらいの気持ちであることが望ましい。どちらかが強く依存しているカップルは破綻してしまう。
Why would you say that though?
そうですか。私としては少しくらい頼り合う関係の方がいいと思いますけど。
I'm about to tell her she only thinks that way because things are going well right now. Yeah, but I stopped myself. I shouldn't have said what I just did. But then I thought of her and Yakigaki-kun. I regurgitated my own warped feelings that underclassmen had already seen right through. Instead, I say what's necessary to smooth things over.
対等というのは5対5ってことだろ？力関係が崩れていくと6対4、7対3となっていく。いいかい高崎くん。こいつをかけてみると 5×5 は25だ。6×4 は24。7×3 は21。
But why
徐
would
々
you?
に歪み弱まっていく。
Why would you bring that up?
一瞬うなずけましたけど、それってこじつけなんじゃないですか？
Yeah. I mean, she must. Is this what you call like self-reflecting or imposing your? I forgot the term for it. Looks like she realized it's a stretch. I smile sardonically.
健全な関係はそれだけ尊いということだよ。失ってからでは遅い。今の関係を大切にしたま
Ah. Personally, I think I'd be a little ticked off to have someone trying to butt into my relationship, but they don't even have their shit together. Yes, absolutely. I'm still giving advice that's probably unwanted, but she smiles and nods. Her bashful expressions makes me feel uncomfortable. I tell her I better be getting back to the council. Yeah, that would have really ticked me off though. Hanabishi-kun tells me she's on her way back from the library.
八代先輩は二階屋の会ですか？
Nikaya, right? Nikaya.
ああ、少し前に終わったところさ。その後。
Poking my nose in Takahashi-kun's affairs had brought back memories of that day, and I wanted to escape from reality for a bit. Of course, I don't tell her that part.
校内を少し見回っていたんだよ。しかし、僕としたことが見逃しがあったとはね。
I wagged my finger at Hanabishi-kun, who exited the school building after me. She smiles.
八代先輩を出し抜いたなんて名誉ですね。あ、そうです。寄宿舎まで一緒に帰りませんか？
ああ、構わないよ。というか、 スオ君とは一緒ではないのかい？
She shakes her head in response to my implied question of whether we should wait for her.
今日は図書委員の日ではないんです。私が個人的に本を読もうって。
アミティへの趣味に合わせてみたってわけか。花火師くんは本当にいいアミティエなんだね。
I regarded her affectionately as she denies the compliment, blushing and fiddling with her braids. Curious about the book she's holding, I ask her.
それでどんな本を借りたんだい？アミティエの趣味に合わせるなら実用書系ではないのだろう？
これです。
She holds it out to show me the title.
三島由紀夫の仮面の告白か。
八代先輩？
いや、以前読んだことがあるが面白かった。目の付けどころがいいね。
Her blush reappears and I feel the emotion I experienced while reading Confessions of a Mask rush back all over again.
できすぎだな。
I mutter to myself.
八代先輩は何をプレゼントされると嬉しいですか？
As we walk our way back to the dorms, Hanabishi-kun startles me with a random question. I hope I didn't accidentally voice the worries that I've been turning over in my head.
急な話題だね。誰かにプレゼントでもするのかい？
ええ、旧友のお誕生日は必ず祝うようにしているので、八代先輩は今までいただいたもので特に嬉しかったものはありますか？
そうだな。
I know I'm gonna get just a bad ending. I really am. She's asking about a present, not about flirting, but we're gonna go, why not put the moves on them? Looking into the earnest eyes behind the lenses of her glasses, I find myself wanting to mess with Hanabishi-kun.
あまり深く考えすぎなくてもいいんじゃないかな。
何がですか？
プレゼントだよ。こういうものは古来から贈る気持ちが大切と相場が決まっているだろう。
She smiles innocently in agreement, then... What did you do?
自らがプレゼントだと迫ったらいい。
No!
きっとスオ君も喜んでくれるはずだ。
No, no! 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 So-kun likes Mayuri, not her.
なんでスオさんのことになっているんですか？
花火師くんがプレゼントするのだろう。なら相手はスオ君に決まっているじゃないか。
Uh-oh.
違います。スオさんの誕生日は3月で。八代先輩、そんなに近づかれたら恥ずかしいです。
そうだね。花火師くんのハートはスオ君だけのものというわけだ。残念。
When I pull back from her, she's flushed red from the tip of her nose to the roots of her hair. My worries continued to plague me as I gazed at the figure of my underclassman, illuminated by the crimson rays of the setting sun. I hunch down a little as the chill autumn air caresses my neck.
そうだ。そろそろ寒くなる頃だし、マフラーや手袋なんてのはどうだろう。
マフラー、手袋ですか？少し前に届きましたけど。
そうではなくて手編みさ。乙女チックでプレゼントには最適じゃないか？
確かにスオさんからもらったら死んじゃうくらい嬉しいですけど。
I smiled to myself. I knew it was for Sokan. A scarf, huh?
考えが読まれたかと思って焦ったが。
はい、何ですか？
いや、悩むくらいなら動いてみようと決めていたところだったのさ。
ハロウィンのことですか？
ネリーの誕生日プレゼントのことだよ。
October 17th. Feeling like Hanabishi-kun has unknowingly given me a kick in the butt I needed, I clap her on the back and thank her.
はい、いえ、どういたしまして。
What I actually do will depend on my mood in the moment. But however much I despise change, there's a hope inside me that perhaps things will be different once I've been able to celebrate my best friend's birthday together with her. I want to continue, but I'm gonna go ahead. Oh dear, no. I scratched my head. Guess I was off the mark. Yeah, okay. I'm gonna save here. Ow. Go ahead and close that down. Let me save my little list of what I've gotten so far. And I'll see everyone in the next video.